The market loved that inflation announcement, and it looks like Bitcoin is way above the bottom now, and it looks like we called the bottom perfectly. And today the market is flying. Bitcoin is now at 43,900, and if you look at our portfolio is flying. Some of our tokens are 54% up, 52% up, 51% up, 43.5% up. We're going to look at why the market is flying today. We're going to look at our portfolio and see if we need to make any adjustments today. And then we are going to decide whether there are some tokens that we should be buying today. And then we are going to talk about Fantom. We're going to talk about Fantom, we're going to talk about the ecosystem and how you can make money. It's going to be one of the biggest shows we've ever done. We are late because the inflation numbers just broke and we had to digest and process all of that. But we're here now and we're ready to get the show on the road. He's the man, he can do it, no one can. If he can do it, no one can. What a great day to be doing a show, guys. What a great day to be doing a show. And let me tell you, I'm actually relieved to be here after yesterday's Pornhub incident, where Kyle, who was supposed to black out the thing, didn't. And so the result is that there was a big Pornhub section in our picking bottoms. And then we got emails from the fans. Says, I find this inappropriate. However, I like the show. I can't take a chance to lose YouTube. Kindly control, it's not Run's fault alone. Just keep next time in mind, it's Crypto Family Show. Thanks. And then he sends a screenshot. I'm not going to open the screenshot because the screenshot shows bottoms because we were talking about picking bottoms. But then the funny part is he puts his USDT Sol address here and he puts his AVAX address here. Basically, I'm not sure how to interpret it, but when I woke up this morning, so I woke up this morning, okay, and usually the first thing I do is I check the Bitcoin price, but I woke up this morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning and I checked my phone, and the first thing I did was I checked the Cryptobanter YouTube to make sure that we still had a YouTube, because the kind of stuff that came out over there, it could have been really bad. It could have been really bad. Woke up, we have a YouTube channel. We do have a YouTube channel, which is great. We do have a YouTube channel. Okay, let's talk about the big news of the day today. The big news of the day today is, of course, that Bitcoin is flying. We're going to look at why Bitcoin is flying. But the action is not actually with Bitcoin. It's actually with the altcoins. And if you look at the altcoins and you look at our portfolio today, I'm going to make this slightly bigger. But boy, oh boy, have we called this right. Yesterday, we told you guys to get into Tomb Finance, which is up 51.7%. And, I must say, I did for a change. I'm going to say for a change because this is not every time I get it right. But this time, I think I called the bottom spot on. I think I called the bottom spot on. I called it on Saturday night at 39,000 to 39,500. That's when I called the bottom. We also called the Fantom January, and we also called the Lunar December. So I think we are actually on a good wicket for a change. We really are on a good wicket for a change. Quick announcements before we get to the main show. First of all, if you're not a subscriber to our channel, you cannot win the Banter bags. You cannot win the Banter bags. We are starting to give away the Banter bags. I wanted to give away the Banter bags on the show today, and I said that what I'd do is I would give it to somebody who went onto our Cryptobanter website. Problem is that you guys took it a bit too seriously, and you absolutely destroyed, you broke our website. In fact, so much so that every time we try and get it up, it just crashes again. So every time I try and sign in, it crashes. Oh, it's back up again. What do you know? Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But what you guys are doing is you guys keep crashing the website. So hopefully we'll get enough server space to accommodate you guys. And then what we'll do is we'll actually pick winners from the website for the Banter bag. So whether you're on the Banter, if you're on the website, you may win. If you're in the comments of the YouTube, you may win. If you're in the comments of the live chat, you may win. But we're starting to give away the Banter bags. And let me tell you, it's a huge giveaway because now those tokens are starting to increase in value. We got you guys Syn City tokens. Syn City is going to be amazing. It's a one project where Do Kwon was an advisor It's an unbelievable game. We've also got 24 times $100 pre-IDO tokens in Syn City, which I'm going to give away on the shows as well. All you need to do is like this content, subscribe to our channel. Only subscribers come in, like this content. And today we've got to give away 24. We've got to give away 24 of those today. So when we get to 5,000 likes, we start those giveaways. One last announcement before we get into what we actually came here to do, and that is the North American Bitcoin Conference, which is happening next week in Miami, 17th to 19th in Miami. We gave away 750 tickets to Cryptobanter family members. If you didn't get a ticket, but you do want to attend the party, there is a link below to a form. Fill in the form, but please, guys, do me a favor. I'm trying to get you guys in. Right now, the capacity is full. They have to move venues because of you. Only enter your name if you can definitely be in Miami. And then I'll get you guys free tickets, but only if you can be in Miami. If you're not going to be in Miami or you think you may not be in Miami, please do not put your name down, because if there's too many tickets, you actually may be taking away from someone who actually does want to be there and can be there. Yeah, so we're going to do giveaways. We're going to give away North American Bitcoin Conference. Congratulations, guys. You have managed to crash another website. This time it's our website. As soon as we can get our website up, we will do it. One other plan that we are doing, and I'd love to get your thoughts about it, is we are creating Cryptobanter NFTs. We are creating 100,000 Cryptobanter NFTs, and we're going to give the NFTs for free, because everything we do at Cryptobanter is free. We'll never charge you for anything. We'll give those Cryptobanter NFTs to 100,000 people. So whether you're on our Telegram group, on our Twitter, on our YouTube channel, here in the live chat, we're going to give you guys 100,000 free NFTs. Then what we're going to do is we are going to post the live show not on YouTube. It's going to be done on our website. And the reason why we want to do that is because we're so scared that one day YouTube will just deplatform us for no reason, which they've done to so many other channels. What we're going to do is those NFTs will be your entry ticket to watch the live show on the website. And then what we'll do is we'll post the non-live show an hour later onto YouTube. So we're going to be giving away those NFTs to you guys. Those NFTs will also allow you entries into IDOs, into giveaways, but you got to have an NFT, and the NFTs are going to be free. So you guys are all going to get Cryptobanter NFTs for supporting us, and those NFTs are going to be free. If you do have an NFT, and I guarantee you that anyone that is here and watching this show today will get an NFT, then you guys will be able to use that NFT as the entry ticket to watch Cryptobanter live. And anyone who doesn't have an NFT can wait for it to go onto YouTube, and that will take an hour. So that's coming pretty soon. We just need to get our website up. Just let us get our website up. Once that's done, that's going to happen. All right, 5,000 likes, we get the show on the road. Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about the big story of the day. And the big story of the day is the Bitcoin price and what drove this Bitcoin price. So what is it that actually drove this Bitcoin price? Well, what drove this Bitcoin price was the inflation announcement. And we all know that the reason why the markets were scared because they believed that the Fed had lost control of inflation. And if the Fed did indeed lose control of inflation, the Fed would have to do crazy things, aggressive things to bring inflation back. Things like increase interest rates up to 4 times this year. They would possibly have to stop putting money into the economy, and they were actually even threatening taking money out of the economy. And the market expected an inflation number, and they expected the inflation number to be 7%. So the market said, look, this was this morning. Here we go. It says this came out from CNBC this morning. Said December's consumer prices are likely to be hot, but the peak should come soon. Now the December numbers were expected at 7%. It says the consumer price index is released by the Labor Department on Wednesday and is expected to show a headline inflation jump. That headline CPI inflation jumped by 7%. That is what the market was expecting. Now, there were 3 scenarios in terms of what could have happened. One scenario is that inflation could have come in at over 7%. And if inflation did come in at over 7%, then it would mean that the Fed would need to be more aggressive in cooling down the economy, which means more interest rate hikes and more taking money out of the economy as opposed to putting money back into the economy. If we got an inflation number under 7%, then we would have got the bull run of our lives, because it would mean that the Fed would not be that aggressive in tapering off or cooling off this economy. What we got is exactly what the market was expecting. The market was expecting 7%, and the market got 7%, which is kind of confirmation that the Fed is going to probably do 3 interest rate hikes this year. We are expecting 3 interest rate hikes this year, and that they will start taking money out of the economy, or what they call shrinking their balance sheet. And that's probably going to happen sometime later in the year. Now, it seems like the whales knew this. Yesterday, I tweeted and I said that I think that the whales are front-running the CPI announcement, which is why the numbers started to go up. So if you look at this, the whales started buying a whole lot just before the CPI announcement and started to push the Bitcoin price up. And my expectations were that the number would be actually below, and I thought that the market would explode. But we got second best price, which is, I think for me, good enough. You see, that's the tweet where I tweeted yesterday, and I said, I could see, given the on-chain data that was happening, I could see that it was whales buying. And I said that what was happening, and this was about 24 hours ago, is that the whales were front-running the CPI announcement, and it was starting to push the Bitcoin price up. Then the market got exactly what the market expected. The market got exactly what they expected. They expected 7%. They got 7%. There were no negative surprises. And because there were no negative surprises, well, number go up. And we saw Bitcoin respond immediately. You can see that candle. That candle is the response that we got to the CPI numbers. And it seems like basically full bull is now back. It seems like full bull is now back. There is one chart that we need to be looking at, and that is the Bitcoin dominance chart. And the reason why I'm bringing this chart up, because Sheldon said that what he expects is Bitcoin to lead the rally. And if you look at this trend line, what you see is that Bitcoin had the breakout, Bitcoin dominance had the breakout, and now it's retesting this line. Now, it can either go up, and if Sheldon is correct, it will lead the bull run, or it can break under, and then we can just continue the altcoin season almost immediately. I also said that I think there's going to be a short squeeze. I think that we are in for an imminent short squeeze, because what you can see is that the leverage is at an all-time high, even though we have bottomed in terms of price, that never got the leverage out, which means that the leverage is probably clusters of shorts. And when those clusters of shorts start feeling the pain, when they start feeling the squeeze, and they will start feeling the squeeze, then we're going to start getting a whole lot of short cascades and liquidations. I thought it was happening last night, but it wasn't happening. They weren't getting liquidated. So patience. We will get there. They will get liquidated. Let's look at the market. The market expected 7% inflation. The market got 7% inflation. So it got exactly what they expected. And what you realize is that when you talk about CPI, the market, and specifically when I say the market, Bitcoin, responds to the forecast versus the actual. That's kind of like what it is. If the inflation numbers come out above what economists are forecasting, the market usually goes down. If the inflation numbers come out below what economists are forecasting, the number goes up. That's exactly what happens. If the number goes equal, the number goes up, and you can see that. So Altcoin Perp made this amazing chart. Well done. Really, really good chart. But what he's showing here is, look here, number equal, green candle. Equal, green candle. Equal, green candle. Above forecast, down. 4 times forecast, down. 1.5 times forecast, up. 1.5 times forecast, up. Equal to forecast, up, 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 up. What you're seeing is that the market, and specifically Bitcoin, responds to how inflation performs, not on an absolute basis, but rather relative to the forecast. And today the forecast was 7%. We got 7%, and therefore we are on the way up. And that is effectively saying no surprises. We're going to get 3 interest rate hikes. Powell said it. In fact, Yesterday, Powell was, what's the word? Reconfirmed. It's not reconfirmed, re-elected, reconfirmed, whatever it is, right? So yesterday he said a couple of things at his reconfirmation, so to speak, which are quite interesting, and I think we need to read into these things. The first thing he said is the balance sheet is far above where it needs to be. What is he saying? He is effectively saying that there is too much money in the economy and the Fed is holding too much corporate debt that they bought. Remember, they bought this corporate debt and they paid with it with dollars, and therefore they put more dollars into circulation. But now he's saying, look, the balance sheet is far above where it needs to be. We need to slow shit down. We haven't made any decisions about when we're going to slow it down. We will talk again about it at the end of January. Now, we thought that he would slow it down as early as March, April, but in January, they haven't yet made the decision. They want to show that inflation is under control, and so I guess that they'll talk about it now in January and probably start in the middle and maybe even towards the later half of the year. He also said that big companies are raising prices because they can. So what does that mean? It means that instead of saying, look, we have an inflation problem because there's so much money in the economy, he's saying we have an inflation problem because big companies are increasing prices because they can. Sounds like to me like he's passing the buck. They're increasing prices because wage prices are going up, because everything else is going up. That's why they're increasing prices. But then the big statement for me came. It was a statement that said stable coins could coexist with a central bank digital currency. He's basically now opened the door for these stablecoins. He's basically said, look, we're going to get these stablecoins, we're going to get USDT, USDC, and all those others, and they can coexist with a central bank digital currency, where, by the way, there is already a framework and they already are hard at work almost bringing the central bank digital currency to life. So it does feel like they have conceded, and that they're now saying that, look, we can have stablecoins, USDT, USDC, maybe even UST. We can have all these stablecoins, but we will also have a CBDC, which is great because I'm not going to use a central bank digital currency, which is centralized. You remember, with a central bank digital currency, it is a centralized crypto, which means that the government can effectively decide how much you spend, where you spend. So imagine that governments went crazy and they said, well, no, not that they went crazy. Imagine that governments are already crazy, because we know they are. And they said, look, if you're unvaccinated, then you can't spend money at a movie theater, or you can't spend money at a restaurant. And if you use a CBDC, a central bank digital currency, effectively what happens is they control where you spend and how much you spend. And effectively the government can say, look, we don't want Run, because he is unvaccinated, we don't want him eating at restaurants, so therefore his wallet address and the CBDC, the currency that he has, cannot be spent at any food institution or any nightclub or any strip club, which, I mean, that would be a disaster if they did that to me. So that's why I'll still be using UST. I'll still be using a UST when this happens. In fact, I'm moving all my money, or lots of my money, into UST. I don't recommend that you do the same, because I'm a degen. I like getting 20% on Anchor, and I'm happy and I trust the peg. But you know what? The UST peg may actually break. It may actually break at some point. So that is what we got around Powell. Now, I said that I for once, I actually called the bottom. I picked the bottom. You know what? We have to talk about this. Hold on a second. We have to talk about this. I think I'm going to fire the social media guys. I'll show you why. Okay. Now I want to ask you a question. Luke, you're a smart guy. Wait, hold on. Let me get Luke here. Luke, you're a smart guy.
Maybe.
If we made a video like this, me and you, it seems like I actually managed to pick a bottom. Would you post it?
Hindsight, Definitely.
You would post that
If you knew that there was the bottom.
with the finger thing. That was a joke. They were not supposed to post it. They were not supposed to post it.
We're about to play that on the screen.
Okay, let's play it. Guys, tell me in the comments whether you would post that. It seems like I actually managed to pick the bottom.
No, not a good look.
Fire him.
Hey, I'm inspiring. Honestly, I'm inspiring. Who does that? Who does
that?
I know, but that was a joke. We were kidding. We were messing around. Anyway, I think our social media team needs a complete rehaul. I'm just saying
That's
the social media team.
I would have him fired immediately.
I agree, Fred. I agree. Fred, should we fire them?
Absolutely. I mean, wow. I'm speechless. Second, bid him. It's done.
Fire. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Anyway, let's carry on with the show. We'll deal with our own internal politics later. All right. So I did tell you that I think that the market was at a bottom. On Saturday night, I published my buy list and I said, look, it's starting to feel like we're bottoming. I reaffirmed that we're going to bottom. I then said I think that we're going to get a strong run up, and I think we're going to get a big green candle when the shorts start to get whacked. I think we're there. I think if Bitcoin can give us another $1,000 or so, then I think we're there, and I think we're going to start getting that short squeeze, and that could take us up to. I mean, I'm just trying to. We could get a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 candle. Could take us back to 53,000 quite quickly if my theory around the shorts is right. And I think the last couple of weeks, even though we've been in a bear market, I think I've been a little bit more right than I've been wrong, which is great. I'm not claiming that I can call a market because it's very tough to call a market, but I think we have been good. You can see that Will Clemente said the same thing. He posted this chart called the buy zone on dormancy flow, and I think that that's got something to do with dormant coins or dormancy flow. And then Suzu seems to have stolen from Will Clemente. Now, I don't know if it was Suzu who stole from Will Clemente or Will Clemente stole from Suzu. So I looked at the time. Looks like Suzu stole from Will Clemente. I think that they both should have just listened to me. I didn't need charts. I didn't need anything. It feels like a bottom. It just felt like a bottom. It was the bottom. But there was data on chain that showed that whales were actually certain that the bottom was in and that we would see higher prices. And that is because what you can see is that the whales actually started buying like crazy and then massively took stuff off exchanges. Now, when that happened previously was here, and you can see what happened there. It was a parabolic straight up. Again, here, parabolic straight up. Again, here, parabolic straight up. And now we're seeing that again. We haven't seen that for a long time. What you should also notice is that the Bitcoin reserves on exchanges are lower than they've been in the last 18 months. So just like understand what that means. Lower than the last 18 months. That is crazy. So that on-chain data reaffirmed to me yesterday that there was a bounce imminent and that we were going to get the bounce. And you compared that with the whales front running the inflation data, overlapped the two things, and then bang. Plan B also says, finally, 3 days after I said it, 4 days after I said it, Plan B says the bounce will be epic. The bounce is epic. The bounce is epic. The bounce is epic. Okay, so the bounce will be epic. Portfolios are recovering. If you look at our portfolio, you can clearly see a pattern of recovery. You can see Manifold Finance up 54% today. Manifold is a brilliant mine extractable value play linked to sushi. You've got Spiritswap up 50% in the day. Look at TShares. 51% up on the day. We had Harry on the show for you guys yesterday. We told you guys to be buying TShares. Today we've got to spend some time on Tomb and TShares and how to make money on Tomb and TShares. Because the thing with TShares is not only are you now making 51.7% for holding it, but if you look at Grim, you are making another 600% by staking it. So you're making back 6 times your money by staking it, but also you are making 51% from yesterday. Then you got Uniswap, which is the cross-chain exchange. I think developer Andre Cronje, very linked to the Fantom ecosystem. Prism, which is one that we've been calling for a while, up 34%. And you can see mainly these things are Andre Cronje coins. Andre Cronje Fantom coins. So Spiritswap up, Tomb up, linked to Fantom. Uniswap, Andre Cronje project up 43%. Zoocoin linked to Fantom up 31%. Tomb linked to Fantom up 27%. Keep Andre Cronje Fantom 26.5% up. And I haven't gone into the Fantom ecosystem. In fact, we can probably get into the Fantom ecosystem here. But look at the Fantom ecosystem in the last 24 hours. Fantom up 24.7%. Tomb up 45%. TShares 45%. Tomb 28%. Spookswap 40%. Popsicle 30%. Guys Finance up 70% today. Spiritswap 56.5% today. The Fantom ecosystem is on fire. And Sheldon said that he believes, and what he saw, and I don't know if you guys saw this, it's in the chart of the day on our website, but what Sheldon said this morning is he called the breakout of the DeFi perpetual index. Let me quickly just make that bigger in the new studio. It's much harder. I know you think I'm a retard, but it's much harder than it looks in this new studio. So what Sheldon saw this morning, he called it quite right. He said, look, you've got the DeFi perpetual index completely breaking the trend. And he said that DeFi was going to lead this breakout. And if you take a look at what is driving DeFi, and you can pretty much look at DeFi Llama, and you can see what is actually driving DeFi. But what you can see is that even though most ecosystems are down in the 7 days in the total value locked, maybe they're up today, but they're down in the total value locked. The one ecosystem that is really up in the last 7 days and up 22% in terms of TVL today is Fantom. And so fair to assume that the reason for this whole DeFi breakout, is because of one chain with a very small market cap relative to other chains. So you're talking about a chain which is amazing. And in fact, I did tweet this on the 29th of, just hold on a second. I've got to try something here. Let us go to Fantom USD, FTM USD, and let's go to 28th of December. Let's just see what the price was. Okay, 28th of December, we were here. So we were somewhere here. Let's talk about there. The price was $2.09. And on the 28th of December, I tweeted, it's going to be a Fantom January. I saw all the signs that it's going to be a Fantom January. Was my second good call because the month before, I did call Luna December. And Luna exploded in December. Hsaka trades, very good account. Let's maybe take a step back. In the beginning of the year, I said to you that in 2021, making money in crypto was going to be easy. This year, it's going to be way harder. It means you have to spend more time researching, more time watching. You have to be more refined about and more selective about where you are getting your info from. Because it is going to get harder this year. But the trick is that if it gets harder, but you're getting smarter faster than it's getting harder, then you will make much more money. Because what happens is, if you think about it, the majority of people aren't getting smarter, and you are getting smarter. It's almost like the cream rising to the top. The majority of people aren't going to get smarter. But if you are getting smarter faster than the market is getting harder, then you're going to make life-changing money. And that's exactly what's happening. If you follow the right people, and I must say, I followed Hsaka, and he said, and this was October 25th, he said, Solunavax, bang, into Fantom, one near secret. What's happened? Fantom exploded, one's exploded, near is exploded. The information is there. The information is there. You just need to know where to get it. You just need to know where to get it, and you just need to know where to look. That's it. If you're getting smarter faster than the market is getting harder, you're going to make a whole lot more money. That's exactly what I want to show you guys today. So we look at Fantom. In fact, let's have a look here. Yeah, we even wrote an article about this on the website. I can't show it to you. We wrote an article about the three Musketeers. We said Harry, Andre Cronje, and Daniel Sesta. And if you read the article basically said, if you want to explode an ecosystem, you got to have four things. So you got to have great technology, you've got to have great community, you've got to have money, and you've got to have incentives. If you want to make an ecosystem work, have good tech, have good community, have money to bullshit, venture capital funding, and then have incentives for people to come onto your chain. And it feels like Fantom has everything going for it. Fantom has absolutely everything going for it. So the first thing is, if you look at the technology, Fantom is EVM compatible, which means it's Ethereum virtual machine compatible, which means that people who are writing and composing dApps in EVM or for Ethereum or for Avalanche can use Fantom, which is cheaper. It is decentralized. It is scalable. It is fast. It has an unbelievable developer fund. It has an amazing, very, 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 very loyal community. It's cheap and it has high yields. And if you think of the components to Fantom, if I were to say to you, okay, let's say we got great technology. Let's park great technology aside. It was built by Andre Cronje. Now, let me ask you a question. Who is the best DeFi developer in the world today? Who's the best DeFi developer in the world today? YFI, Keep3, who is the best DeFi developer in the world today? I mean, you can't really argue that it's Andre Cronje. You can't argue that the best DeFi developer in the world today is actually Andre Cronje. Many projects, many successes, many more failures, many millionaires, many billionaires made. And so you have Andre Cronje backing Fantom and teasing that he's building something new on Fantom. We're going to talk about that today. Then, if I were to say to you, who's the best community builder in the world in crypto? Second to BitBoy. Obviously, BitBoy is the #1 community builder in the world, but there must be a second community builder. And Daniel Sesta is a master community builder. Then you got Harry. He's the money. Harry can bring money. He can raise money. He can create money. He can make money. You saw that. You saw what he did. You saw what he did yesterday. So you've got this perfect combination of great technology, a great technologist, an amazing community builder. The frog guy is the amazing community builder. And then you've got Harry's money. And then the last thing that you need one more thing. You need incentives to bring people to the ecosystem. And Fantom has unbelievable incentives. I did some research for you guys today, and I just want to show you what it looks like. Give you an example. If you go to tarot.to and you want to stake, I'm just giving you some examples. I'm not telling you to put your money in. You want to stake one-sided Fantom, so no impermanent loss. You're getting yields of 23-24% on your Fantom. So you scroll down here, you'll see, here we go. You're getting yields, I was looking at it earlier, you're getting yields of 20%. If you go to Tomb Finance and you want to be staking your Fantom Tomb and stuff like that, you're getting, let's have a look at what the LP token's giving you today. You're getting 152.88% if you're not recompounding your earnings. If you are recompounding your earnings, you can get huge. I mean, on TShares, you can get 600%. Let's just look at Tomb and see what happens if Tomb, you can get 400% a year if you're recompounding your earnings. So what you can see is Fantom has this what's the word I'm looking for? It has these incentives that are bringing people to the chain. And now we've got this new incentive. We've got Andre Cronje and Daniel Sesta teasing a new project. And let's quickly look at what they're talking. talking about? They're talking about, if you're asking me and Andre are launching a new coin on Fantom, it will start a Fantom season. He was right. That was on the 5th of January. We started here. It's natural. Now we come back to growth, the ecosystem, and the tech that made me who I am today. So he's teasing about that. You'll be using Fantom without knowing it, without knowing you're using it. That's how me and Andre Cronje will build DeFi 6.9. Sexy. And then he starts talking about the tokenomics. What if the team is an investor of its own protocol? Isn't that alignment? And what he's saying is, in this token, the only way that you're going to be able to earn tokens, there's no private sale, there's no team, there's no early contributors, there's no seed round. The only people that are going to get tokens are the community. And so what I think is happening here is people are saying, look, Fantom, great technology, amazing. Fantom, EVM compatible, decentralized, amazing. It fits this narrative of ETH scaling, because what Fantom really is, because it's EVM compatible, it's kind of like an ETH layer 2. ETH doesn't work, you've built your dApp on ETH, well, you can deploy it on Fantom, it's cheap, it's fast, and it works. It's EVM compatible. Then you have high yields in Tomb, in all those ones that I showed you, and we'll actually maybe tomorrow learn how to play Tomb, TShares, and stuff like that. I'll show you guys how you can make huge money on Tomb and TShares. And now you've got Andre Cronje saying, look, just join the community. How they're going to distribute this new token is, if you follow this tweet by Jack Nievold, I think he's also very good. He writes super stuff. He says, Andre Cronje, Daniel Sesta, and Fantom FDN have banded together to create a new, secretive, highly secretive project. Here's a thread of everything you need to know and some speculation around the protocol. The token currently referred to as V3.3, it's speculated below censored it will be called Solid. It will use the same VE vote escrow mechanic as protocols like Convex and Curve, staking dilution, the same as Olympus DAO, voting escrow, and he goes on and on and on, and he talks about this token. But what he says is, if you want to get this token, there's actually only one way to get it. Buy Fantom, the whole Fantom ecosystem will draw attention, or ape into the top 20 protocols. The only way to get indirect ownership of this token for now is by buying into the top 20 protocols. So Andre Cronje said he'll take the tokens, he will give them the top 20 protocols, and they can distribute it to their people, which is a novel way of actually distributing tokens. Go to the protocols that are building on a token, give it to them and say, look, you guys have got to distribute it to a community, kind of do it how you want. So that's why I think we're getting a Fantom January, and all this TVL is going into January, into Fantom. And even in a month, in a week, where the TVLs of most protocols are down, you're getting the TVL of Fantom up 6%. And you're getting the TVL of Fantom up 22.2%. So that's what I think is happening. And so I'm not the only one who thinks that Fantom is going to have an amazing January. In fact, I managed to get hold of Miles Deutscher. Miles, welcome, my friend.
Hello, good to be here. How are you?
I think you're a bigger Fantom fan than I am. And full disclosure, I was an advisor to Fantom when they launched. I got a whole lot of free tokens in 2017 or 18 when they launched. And I've been a supporter, obviously, of Fantom ever since then. But I think you're actually a bigger supporter than I am of Fantom.
Yeah, well, as you said, it's EVM compatible. It's got the developers, it's got the community, it's got the UI. I mean, what's not to love? It's cheap, it's fast, and we're just seeing explosive growth at the moment off the back of that.
So I want to talk about Andre's new project. But before we talk about Andre's new project, what are the other things that are exciting you on Fantom? So when you look at Fantom, let's remove the new project.
Yeah.
And without the new project, what is it that makes you so excited about Fantom? Because I know you've been looking at Avalanche, you've been looking at other protocols, you're an Avalanche DGen too. So what is it about Fantom?
So it won't actually let me share my screen because it wants me to restart my computer, so I'll just have to go up the top here. But I guess the massive explosive growth we've seen like on DeFi Llama through the TVL is a really good indicator that we're starting to get that liquidity shift across from chains like AVAX. We've seen Fantom, we're up 5.92% for the week against chains like Sol, which are down 16%, which is indicating that we're getting that flow of funds, and Fantom's really attracting new liquidity. And as you said, with the new Andre Cronje project, what's happening is people are actually buying into these top 20 projects in order to get exposure through governance, through rewards. So the TVL growth is a huge indicator to me that we're actually seeing this shift. We're seeing this flow of funds. And I looked at some models today, which indicated that Fantom is going to overtake Solana by TVL by next month. If you actually flick on, there's a setting on DeFi Llama, it says 6.4 billion, but that's not including the Tomb Finance funds. So the TVL right now is actually 8.49 billion, which puts us at a market cap TVL of 0.85. So a market cap TVL of 0.85 compared to Solana of 4.59. I mean, that's just crazy growth. That means that Fantom can hit close to $15 just based on today's market cap TVL ratio, and that's just a direct comparison. So in TVL terms, it's looking absolutely crazy. And then we've got a massive explosion. Once again, it won't let me show my screen here, but I just recently tweeted out my latest tweet is that Fantom has over triple the amount of daily transactions than AVAX now. So we've had 938,000 transactions today. Because the thing with TVL is it is a really good indicator of liquidity, but it doesn't really paint the full story. Because if you just scroll down a little bit, one more tweet down, it doesn't really paint the full story because we want to look at the on-chain data. And right here, you can see that Fantom actually has triple the amount of daily transactions, yet it is triple undervalued compared to AVAX. So AVAX is valued 3 times more than Fantom, even though Fantom has 3 times the amount of transactions. And obviously, we know with transactions, that plays into the network effect. So if you don't know what the network effect is the more transactions and value on a chain. So the more a chain is being transacted on, the more that network tends to attain in a value sense. But what we often see in crypto is the network effect kind of lags behind. So we get this discrepancy in transaction growth and then price growth. And we're at the phase of the flow of funds cycle now where we're seeing that price growth hasn't quite set in for Fantom, even though clearly we're starting to get some of the on-chain metrics come in and suggest that we're set for some explosive growth. So those are just some of the metrics that I'm looking at the moment that suggest we're still undervalued, even though we've been pumping like crazy.
Okay, I want to play devil's advocate because sure. I think we have to give a balanced view on the show and try not to just hype. As much as I love Fantom, I'm a huge investor in Fantom. I was an advisor to Fantom when they launched. But if I look at the layout of the layer 1 blockchains, you've got Solana. Solana's amazing technology. They have a technological breakthrough. They have a market cap of 45 billion. You have Binance. Binance Coin is a tricky one. I don't want to talk about it too much because it's an exchange and it's the smart chain, which is a fork of Ethereum. So let's not talk too much about Binance. Cardano, very, very, very smart technology. Not many users yet, not many use cases yet. Market cap 40 billion. Okay. Polkadot, incredible breakthrough in technology. Market cap 30 billion. Lunaterra, incredible breakthrough in technology, built on Tendermint, market cap 30 billion. Avalanche, incredible breakthrough in technology, 3 chains, beautifully coded by Imminent and his team. When I look at Fantom is lagging all the big boys. So I think the market cap of Fantom is 7 billion. Yeah. Do you think that could be because the market is skeptical of DAG technology? They're kind of going, look, DAGs, directed acyclic graphs, have been around for a long time. I guess the Fantom innovation is the fact that it's an EVM compatible DAG, which is cheap. But ultimately, the market's not rewarding DAG protocols as much as it would be rewarding blockchains.
I've actually got 2 reasons to justify why this is the case. The first is accessibility. Fantom just simply doesn't have the accessibility that other chains have. We didn't get the Coinbase listing yet, and there's really no way to buy the ecosystem tokens on the market unless you go through a DEX. Whereas AVAX has, Joe listed on Gate, KuCoin. You can actually buy it. You can't buy Spooky. You can't buy Spirit through centralized exchanges. However, we obviously know Harry is launching Felix at the end of the month, which will onboard a mass amount of users. So I think that's the first issue, accessibility. Obviously, Felix is going to really help onboard new users, as now we have a Binance cloud-powered exchange where you can buy these tokens. And the second issue, you're right, it's centralization. Fantom only has 52 validators compared to AVAX and Solana, which have hundreds, right? So that is a genuine concern amongst investors. But there's two kind of counterpoints I'd give to that. Firstly, the market's shown it doesn't really care that much. In Solana's early days, it was relatively centralized, and the price growth was still pretty exponential. So the market doesn't care. And the second reason I would counter the centralization thing is Fantom FDN Foundation has stated that they want to onboard thousands of validators over the next couple of years. But if you're not familiar with what they're developing at the moment, they need FVM, Fantom Virtual Machine, to be able to scale and onboard those 1,000 validators. So the decentralization is coming. It's just going to take time. And I think it presents an opportunity, because those are some of the reasons why we're lagging behind. But if you get in now, then we stand to benefit long term once FVM comes out.
There are 3 opportunities as I see it right now. The first opportunity is there's a massive airdrop. The airdrop's coming next. The snapshot's being taken next week, Friday. So you've got time next week to be putting your Fantom to work in the ecosystem, the top 20 ecosystem coins. If you don't know where to get those, you go to CoinGecko. So no, you go to DeFi Llama. He said you take the snapshot off DeFi Llama, and you look at the Fantom ecosystem.
Yeah.
And what you got to look at is if you want to stake your Fantom, you got to participate in the top 20 protocols, and that's where he's going to distribute the token. So that's the first opportunity, is to buy Fantom or just participate in the ecosystem of the top 20 coins. The next opportunity is an opportunity which I think is one of the biggest opportunities out there, and that is to buy tokens before they get listed on Coinbase.
Absolutely.
And if you actually want to extrapolate that a whole lot further, what you say is, you said it right. Avalanche, for a while, the tokens were depressed because people couldn't buy them. And that changed when the big exchange, and I think it was KuCoin, or which was one of them, and maybe it was Binance, that listed Trader Joe. And I said to the Banter community, I said, that's your sign that there's about to be a whole lot of listings of Avalanche of related tokens across a whole lot of exchanges. Because what happens is, it's very tricky and technical for an exchange to integrate a new chain. So it's like, why don't we see Cardano? Because it's very hard for an exchange to take Avalanche, which is a new technology, integrate the chain to start loading the native tokens on that chain. But once they have the first breakthrough, then it's just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So the biggest opportunity, the third opportunity, and probably the biggest opportunity, is to go to the top 10 Fantom ecosystem coins, look at the ones that you like and buy them and hold them. And the reason why he did it is because they don't have massive exchange listing yet. They're not listed on Binance, KuCoin, Coinbase. And so that is a huge opportunity.
There's one statistic that I wanted to pull up on a graph, but I can explain it. Spooky-Swap actually had the 3rd largest volume by DEXes today. So it's up there with Uni, up there with PancakeSwap, yet it has an undervaluation
Why don't you tweet it? Why don't you tweet it and I'll call up your Twitter?
Yeah, I'll retweet it.
And I'll call up your Twitter. So we'll make a plan.
Yeah.
We'll make a plan.
Sure. So just retweet it. So you can actually see that the Fantom DEXes are severely undervalued in terms of the amount of transactions that's actually happening on them compared to their market cap. So we can see Spooky has a 19 undervaluation compared to Trader Joe of 8. So the ratio is just crazy. So we're still very early, even with the market pumping. I mean, Spooky's a top 3 DEX now. Spirit's number 8 for trading volume, which is just shows how many people are actually using the Fantom ecosystem right now.
I just want to show the Banter fam how early you actually are. If you just give me 1 second, I just want to find let me show this to you guys.
I mean, in the scheme of things, we are very early, because you've got Spiritswap at a valuation of 60 million. If that can become one of Fantom's top DEXes, like Joe did, and hitting around the $1 billion market cap, then Spirit still has a 10x growth potential, just for one example. So there's still a huge runway for growth given the current market cap. So I still think we're actually pretty early. Yeah.
Let's look at it. So market cap of $86 million. Okay. The next question you ask yourself is, okay, if I want to buy, where do I buy?
Yeah.
where can I buy this token? So you click on markets.
Spiritswap.
And the only place that you can buy Spiritswap is on gate.io. It's the only exchange that has.
It just got listed there as well, like just recently.
Yes. So, but when you compare that, and I want to just show the Banter fam, when you compare that to, for example, a Uniswap, okay, and you say, okay, well, if I want to buy Uniswap, which is the primary DEX on Ethereum, where do I buy that? It's pretty much Bitfinex, Binance, Crypto.com, Coinbase.
Yep.
And so the opportunity is buy it now because you believe in the Fantom ecosystem, hold it, and when it does get all the listings, that's when you cash in. That's when you've made the money. We saw that with Trader Joe and Avalanche. We saw exactly what happened. And now it's playing out the same. I must say, the other one that looks like it may be the same opportunity is if you go to Astroport. So Astroport is the biggest, it's a great exchange built on Luna. The price has crashed to 136 in this correction, and 136 is actually the all-time low. So you look at it and say, okay, well, where can I buy it?
Exactly. Nowhere, yeah.
So if you know where to buy it, that's where you get the alpha. And I think that's the same thing for the entire Fantom ecosystem. It's not available to buy anywhere else.
And we're getting Felix at the end of the month, which will be a huge on-ramp for new users. So if you don't know what Felix is, it's a Binance cloud-powered centralized exchange. So you'll be able to go now onto a Fantom-only ecosystem exchange, buy Spiritswap, buy Tomb. I know Harry and the team are working super hard on that, and they might have an announcement coming on that very, very soon. So
we had Harry on yesterday. Yeah. Okay, let's quickly. We've got 5 more minutes. Let's talk about Andre's new project.
Absolutely.
Which, I mean, do we call it? What do we call it? Do we call it by its code name?
B33. It's actually called Solid.
Is it called Solid? Is that confirmed?
Yeah. Well, not confirmed, but I mean, we got a pretty good guess, right? Through the photo.
Yeah, we got a pretty. There we go. Okay, what is it? What is it? What is Solid?
Look, it's pretty hard to explain because we don't actually have all the details. I released a video today which I broke down kind of in depth what it is, but it's pretty much going to operate kind of like Olympus DAO. So it has the dilution mechanics of Olympus DAO, and it has the vote escrow mechanics of Curve. So it's pretty much merging those two protocols together because Andre kind of has this vision that he wants to incentivize fees and not liquidity because he sees there's a bit of a problem with a lot of new token releases. They incentivize liquidity, but they emit so many tokens. So what they actually do is, that's the video there. What they actually do is they emit, so their dilution rate is just crazy. So he wants to incentivize locking up. So there's actually going to be an NFT feature where you receive your rewards in NFTs, which creates a secondary market, which is really awesome, I think, because you're able to keep your rewards liquid. And then
let's go back because a lot of our community don't know the basics here. So we think that it's an AMM DEX. We think that what Andre is launching Solid is an AMM DEX. An AMM DEX is like Uniswap, like all these decentralized exchanges which have automatic market makers, liquidity providers.
Yeah.
Now Now Andre believes that the current model is wrong and that he can make it better. What does he believe is wrong with the current model?
From my understanding from the documents, he believes there's an issue with incentivizing liquidity and not incentivizing fees. So he wants to create a more efficient protocol where it incentivizes staking and not diluting the token. Therefore, your token's more valuable over time. That's pretty much the gist of it from what I've read. And it will kind of incentivize staking in a new way that doesn't dilute the token supply the same way like Olympus DAO would, for example.
Okay,
that's my understanding of it.
If you want to get your hands on this token, how do you do it? What do you do?
Well, there's 2 ways you can do it. The first way is by buying into one of the 20 top projects on Fantom for TVL. So what's actually going to happen is those protocols are going to have a choice over their governance, over how they distribute the token. So let's say you give the token, Andre drops the token to SpookySwap. SpookySwap now sits back and they can say, okay, how are we going to reward this token to our holders? My guess is that ex-Boo holders, so holders of Boo, that hold their governance token will receive it in the form of staking rewards. But every chain is going to have a vote on how they actually distribute the token. So you have to look into the different protocols and how they're actually going to distribute. But my best guess is holding the governance token for the top 20 chains and staking them directly would be the best way to receive the airdrop or receive it through staking rewards. Option number 2, as Jack Newald pointed out in his tweet, is actually to buy, I think it's Keeper, which is the Andre Cronje Ethereum-based currency exchange app, which pretty much he's integrating the VE33 tokenomics into Keeper, which will basically mean that it's kind of like a test bed, right? Because it can test the tokenomics on Ethereum, and eventually that protocol is actually coming over to Fantom as well. So if you want exposure to this model, but you don't want to buy VE33 directly, obviously because you can't, you can get exposure to the model through Keeper, which is the other option. So you got 2 options. Well, and that's why the price has exploded on Keeper today, up like 50%. Because people are realizing.
Everything's exploded. Anything to do with what Andre Cronje has exploded. We had, let's look at it again. You've got Uniswap. These are tokens in our portfolio. TShares, Uniswap, Spiritswap, exploded. Uniswap is a token that I actually made a video about in November 2020 at $2. And I said, I think it's going to fly. Here we are, here with still at 10x in this market. Listen, Miles, we need to get you on more often. I don't think there's any other way around it. I know you've got your own channel. Guys, if you don't follow Miles' YouTube channel, Jimmy, is there a link in the description below?
Yeah, YouTube and Twitter.
All right, so YouTube and Twitter.
Link in the description.
Yeah, put it in the description link. It's all there. And I think we'll get you on more regularly. We should get a Fantom update, I guess, at least once a week, and maybe much more in January. What do you guys say?
You have to. We have to at the moment.
We have to, bro.
Definitely.
We'll have to, bro. Guys, follow Miles on Twitter. He's the Fantom Man. Follow him on YouTube. There are links below. Smash it, destroy it, give the man some banter love, and at the same time grow your portfolios and make amazing money. Miles, buddy.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Legend. Thanks for having me. Thank you, man.
You're a fucking
Thank
legend.
you very much.
You're a fucking legend. That guy is so smart. He's in that league of like Will Clemente, Sheldon, that BitBoy Crypto. Those guys are in a league of their own, right? All right, guys, that's all we have time for. And I must say, I've enjoyed doing the show. In fact, I think it's been one of the shows where you got so much alpha or returns for every minute that you watched. I think it's the best 58 minutes that you could have spent, which reminds me of Hustle's show yesterday. If you haven't been watching Hustle's gaming show, it's in the game. Tonight, there's another show. It happens in about 2 or 3 hours. It is the best gaming show in terms of alpha per minute that you can ever have. Usually, I listen to things in 2-speed because most of the stuff is garbage. And there's some podcasts that if I could listen to an 8-speed, I'd listen to an 8-speed. But when I was listening to Hustle's show yesterday, I actually turned it back down to like 1 speed. I was like, whoa, I can't listen to this fast. I need to go slowly. That's how good it is. So if you are not watching Hustle's in the game show, trust me, that is the best alpha that you can get per minute listened. And I think that today's show here was the second that you could get per minute listened. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to see you guys again tomorrow or maybe later. Until then, if you're trading, happy January, my friends. Happy trading. See you soon. Yo, that was a good show.
Oh, free alpha. Miles got some.
Miles, you killed it, bro. Well done.
Thank you. That was actually my first live experience ever. So